you reach an age when you realize that you either, there's this wonderful moment, a key moment in the movie Shawshank Redemption, when Andy Dufresne says to his friend, played by Morgan Freeman, you either get busy living or you get busy dying. And I know that an awful lot of people that sat and saw that movie heard that, right? And I think everybody at some point in their life realizes that's exactly what you're going to have to do.
This year at the 2014 International UFO Congress, Stephen Bassett was given the Researcher of the Year award for his success with the citizen hearing on disclosure. In May 2013, researchers, activists, and military agency political witnesses representing 10 countries gave testimony in Washington, D.C. to 6 former members of the United States Congress about events and evidence indicating an extraterrestrial presence engaging the human race. The citizen hearing on disclosure was an unprecedented event in terms of size, scope and the involvement of former members of the U.S. Congress, 40 witnesses over 5 days. The event was the most concentrated body of evidence regarding the extraterrestrial subject ever presented to the press and the general public at one time.
I'm not saying that there aren't things that the government is involved in that we don't have a need to know. I believe that is true and will always be true. The trouble is that they have now classified way too much as need to.
That the, how would you say, comparison between what is shown here and the White House's position will prompt the political media to begin to go into investigation mode, not simply to record what is going on, but to ask very difficult questions, the obvious questions of the obvious people.
Acknowledgement of the ET presence needs to come from government in order to ensure that the stability of societies are maintained, and also because there is the possibility that the extraterrestrials, which have been engaging us for a long time, for whatever reason, lack of patience, another agenda, will force disclosure on us through their own action.
I realized what I needed to do, and that was to go to Washington, where I had spent a lot of time, knew my way around, and engage this issue politically, because the solution to the UFO ET issue is, in fact, political, not scientific.
We're going to ship 535 of the DVD sets of the entire hearing, 30 hours, about 10 DVDs. We'll ship them to the Congress with letters signed by most or all of the citizen hearing witnesses, requesting that they meet with PRG's lobbyist, me, and discuss this content, and also prepare to have hearings, to get some hearings out of the way.
Trust is going to be the true currency of the 21st century. Not the dollar, not gold, not silver, not the yuan, not chocolate. It's going to be trust. That is the real currency in the world. And without it, not enough money can fix your problems.
Here's a closer look at the unprecedented hearing that made Steve Bassett the Researcher of the Year.
The conclusion I've come to is incredibly wild, that those in charge have been successful in keeping secret the greatest story of mankind.
The evidence is overwhelming that Earth is being visited by intelligently controlled extraterrestrial spacecraft.
The CIA guy standing next to me says, we're confiscating all this data and you're all sworn to secrecy.
They've all been studying this. They have more data than I do.
So the government has dumped disinformation and misinformation into the field for decades. They've undermined research.
I have lost faith in representative government. I truly think we're in gridlock. It doesn't work, and so we need to make a change.
I think it's ignorant of any people not to seek out what we need to know to continue the universe.
You give this committee a lot of reasons for us to say, open those files.
You're walking up to it and you touch it. What do you do? Touch it, that? Do you grab it? Tell us about that.
Okay. I started doing the walk around 360 of the object, and as I came around, I seen there was an inscription on the front, and
this is what you saw, right?
That's what I saw. So I started walking around the craft, and I seen the glyphs, and as I ran my hand from the fabric of the craft, it was smooth to touch.
You ran your hands along it?
Oh, yeah.
I believe that the time is now to lift the veil of secrecy that has shrouded this subject for over 60 years. And the subject of UFOs should now be openly accepted in the mainstream media.
They exist, they are here to save us against the insanity of our leaders.
I agree with you. They should open those Roswell files.
There is only one way to regain trust. Find and tell the truth.
If it's out there, if it's real, we have a right to know.
New at 9, it is the largest UFO convention in the country. Hundreds of believers are at the International UFO Congress in Fountain Hills, Arizona this week.
Jessica Flores was at the convention this afternoon, and she's here now to tell us what this was all about. Jess.
John, Kerry, there's a spectrum of beliefs at the conference, from those who are just curious about the possibility of aliens and UFOs to those that believe they themselves are aliens. That's right, ETs among us. At this convention, anything goes, and for the people I talked to today, there's a galaxy of possibilities. What do aliens look like?
Okay, the ETs, I don't call them aliens. The ETs, they looked, there's some that were very pink, all pink, and then there's some that were golden beings. They're all gold.
Beings that look like small gray creatures with big black eyes.
People think aliens are kind of creepy green little creatures. Is that what they look like?
No. They have all different kinds of looks. A lot of them are very human looking and some are not. I'm a hybrid, part human and part ET.
Take it up in the ship, and my mother come running out after me, trying to catch me, and they took her up too.
Literally saw those beings closer than you and I are.
Finished a book on this UFO crash at San Augustine, and we found lots of wreckage. As far as we know, it's made out of high-density polyethylene. We think it might be a body organ. This is, we think it's an alien shoe. This shoe would not fit a 5-toed foot.
Have you ever taken any of your findings to the U.S. government?
No, and I hope they don't come ask me about them either. I did have 2 men in black one night come up my sidewalk, but they were Mormon missionaries. I was sure glad to see them.
I look up into the sky and see all those stars up there, and if you seriously think that we're the only planet with life, then I think you probably need to go to a psychiatrist.
So if you're one of those that believes in life beyond Earth, or you're just curious, the conference runs through the 16th at Fort McDowell Resort and Casino. Reporting live, I'm Jessica Flores, Fox 10 News.
Goffin likes to stargaze, but for the past few months he says he's seeing more than just stars.
The first sighting, it was a lot of movement and just sparkles around it.
Goffin decided to record the unidentified flying object. You can see from his video there are two bright objects. One is flashing and then it just stops. The other continues to move.
Nah, I haven't really told too many people.
Is there a reason?
Thinking I'm crazy, you know, everybody got their own beliefs, and if you say, oh, I seen a UFO, they'll laugh at you, make fun of you, thinking that you're hallucinating or something.
According to the National UFO Reporting Center, 23 sites have been reported on the First Coast in the last 6 months. 12 of those sightings were in Jacksonville. John Anderson is the senior research lecturer of the Department of Physics at UNF and says it could be many things.
It could be aircraft, it could be shooting stars, meteors, it could be reflections of searchlights off of clouds in the distance that could appear to move very fast, could be satellites flying over. Things like the International Space Station, when it passes over, they're very bright.
Sightings of unusual objects in the sky are being recorded all over the world, but unlike what many describe as extraterrestrial activity, Anderson says scientifically it's unlikely.
The nearest planet that is currently judged to be a habitable planet, meaning that it has conditions conducive for liquid water, is about 22 light years away.
The Mutual UFO Network says every year about 70,000 reports come in, but 9 out of 10 are explainable sightings. But they also say only 1 in 10 are reported. Goffin says he'll keep watching the sky.
I've always been interested in space, and I've always known that there has to be other life out there, because I don't think we're the only ones. They said that there's millions of galaxies out there. Why is it that just ours have life?
Michelle Casada, First Coast News, NBC 12, ABC 25.
From far away, it appears to be an orange speck in the sky, but zoom in and it begins to look like a fireball.
The sun hadn't come up yet, but there was this bright thing in the sky, and I said to my husband, "What is that?"
Ruth Jackson was with her husband and 2 granddaughters Tuesday morning, taking the girls to school. She's the one who snapped these pictures.
Whoa, what is that? And so the granddaughters were, they were pretty excited about it.
Jackson first shared this photo with us on our Facebook page. We then shared it with you Wednesday morning. So far, hundreds of people have liked and shared the photos, but no one had a definitive answer on what it could be. That's when I decided to contact the Montana Space Grand Consortium at Montana State University.
When I saw it first, the first thing that came to mind is that there was something falling through the air that was on fire.
That is Angela Desjardins, the director of Montana Space Grand Consortium in Bozeman. We took the photos to her to try to get some answers.
So it looks like it's pretty high up in the sky.
She tells us with so little information, it is hard to pinpoint what exactly this could be, but can rule out a few possibilities.
You can put to rest that there is any aliens or anything like that. And I'm not the biggest expert on meteors, but I think we could probably pretty safely say it wasn't a meteor.
Desjardins tells us photos are sent to the Space Consortium all the time, but she has never seen a photo like this.
I mean, I can see why this is capturing folks' imagination and why they really wanted to take pictures of it, because I think that is pretty rare.
In the end, she gave us her best guess.
I would say something that was flying around, that someone was flying around, caught fire.
And for Jackson, she tells us she is happy she stopped to snap this picture.
Yeah, I guess I'm always looking for something, to take a picture of, but this was just awesome.
Telling me she will definitely be looking up more often. Reporting in Bozeman, Jordan Moore, NBC Montana.
Almost half of all Americans think we are alone in the universe. So let's get out there and meet the astronauts who already believe. Let's visit our galaxy's 22 billion habitable planets. They're out there. Just open your mind to the ultimate question. Are we alone? A week-long event premieres Sunday, March 2nd at 10 on Science.
A much stranger alien habitat is the Carbon Planet.
It has rivers and oceans of oil and a thick inner shell made entirely of diamond.
Life on the diamond world, in the oily oceans, would have to be even more exotic, even more alien, because they wouldn't be based on liquid water at all.
Here, solitary aliens hide in lakes of oil and produce bursts of energy to attract prey. Zooming in to his final destination, Dartnell thinks the biggest, baddest extraterrestrials of all could live on a planet much like our own, where evolution has taken a very different route.
For the best possible chances for life, especially complex animal life like ourselves, would be an Earth-like place, a true twin of our home world. But even if we were to rerun the story of evolution on Earth, you wouldn't expect the specifics of life to come out the same, because there's so much chance and randomness inherent in the process of evolution. So perhaps on an alien Earth-like world, there's an octopus species which has developed a hard exoskeleton to support itself against the gravity once it's come out of its aqueous environment.
So in a galaxy where life can evolve in an infinite number of scary ways, what are the chances of a planet developing intelligent, self-aware life? Like us. It's possible aliens are not just smart. They're smarter than us. And they've taken evolution to the next step by becoming a robot species.